Welcome to Overcoming Physician Burnout as Health Architects, a series in which we talk about different ways that physicians can approach their clinical work to make it more rewarding and fulfilling. This is Venkatesh Ramnath. Today is episode 11, How to Maintain and Extend Our Medical Knowledge Base After Training Years Have Ended. For your information, if you prefer reading, I would invite you to take a look at the written post, which also includes embedded links for references. Also a disclosure. I have no conflicts of interest or disclosures regarding the products cited in this podcast. Okay, last time we talked about how medical school and residency afford us different types of knowledge. Propositional, that is the facts. Procedural, that is how to do stuff. Perspectival, which is different lenses and approaches to the same problem, and participatory, that is the lived experience of being a physician. Today, we're going to talk about how to address the pursuit of knowledge after training, since we know that medical knowledge is still growing at a rapid clip with no signs of slowing. In 2016, about 1.2 million papers were indexed by two major publication databases, and by 2022, that number had jumped to 2.82 million. That's a 46% increase in 6 years. In fact, the rate itself is accelerating. Recent estimates show that medical research published annually is doubling every 5 years. We already knew that medicine today is fast-paced, but staying on top of the latest information may make us feel like we're being waterboarded. Yet we know that we need to learn more. Our mentors for medical school and training told us repeatedly that medicine is a field where learning never stops. Therefore, the question really isn't just how to remember what we learned, it's how we should keep learning. Medicine doesn't stand still, and neither can we if we want to keep the scientific attitude with us, as we discussed in previous posts. The key to keeping burnout at bay while still learning isn't just to consume facts indiscriminately, but to approach it strategically. By choosing where and how to devote our attention, rather than trying to master everything, we can turn chaos into clarity, keep the scientific attitude front and center, and steer clear of burnout. Let's talk about how you can build and maintain a solid system for staying informed and staying inspired. And let's break it down step by step. Step 1. Pick your go-to resource. You need a fast, reliable, evidence-based resource for general, on-demand answers based on established evidence-based practices. Forget about Google and Wikipedia and X, also known as Twitter. While some gems can be found there, in general, it's a messy, opinion-ridden terrain to look for diamonds, a wild, wild west as far as accuracy is concerned. Instead, commit to a more validated and reliable resource to save time without compromising quality. UpToDate is my top choice. It's a comprehensive resource and is written by known thought leaders, is heavily referenced, and is concise. Proof of its universality is not just how many medical professionals use it, including non-physicians, but how many non-medical people use it. For example, I'm no longer shocked when I do expert witness testimony when a lawyer pulls out a quote from UpToDate that I must comment on. I will admit that getting a license for accessing UpToDate is not cheap, but its pervasiveness in medical circles has incentivized many institutions, large and small, to obtain institutional licenses so that all medical staff can use it. If your institution doesn't provide it, ask your chief of staff or administrator about it. Other solid options to UpToDate include the following: Dynamed, Harrison's Online, or the Merck Manual. For specialty-specific resources, I look to board certification review materials. My favorite in internal medicine is called the Medical Knowledge Self-Assessment Program, affectionately known as MCSAP, offered by the American College of Physicians. For pulmonary disease, I look to the American College of Chest Physicians Board Review Manual, but many leading teaching institutions like the Mayo Clinic or Brigham and Women's Hospital have comparable offerings. Specialty societies also have reliable alternatives, particularly because they are in charge of certification standards. Just look up your respective specialty society and give them a call, or look up what they have on their website online. When using any of these resources, however, just keep in mind that what is written about the topics discussed is still someone else's interpretation of the evidence. You'll often see comments like, "we recommend," or "our approach is," especially where the evidence isn't clear. While helpful, don't take them as the gospel truth. And please note, we'll discuss tools like ChatGPT and other AI-driven resources like Open Evidence in a future post. They're promising, but not quite there yet. Step 2. Follow the right journals. A one-stop resource is a good start, but it's not enough. You need to examine at least some of the details for yourself and learn about what's coming down the pike, not just what has been established from past work. Here, the objective is to get into the weeds, but not be smothered by them. The key is to read, but not read everything. Otherwise, the exercise may serve to disempower you rather than to build up your confidence. Instead, do the following. First, choose 1 or 2 specialty-specific journals for each specialty discipline in which you see patients. For example, because I see patients with either pulmonary disease or critical illness, I follow the journal Chest for pulmonary and Critical Care Medicine for critical care. And if I have time, I look at the American Journal of Respiratory Critical Care Medicine, which really deals with both. Second, add 1 or 2 general medicine journals, like the New England Journal of Medicine or the Journal of the American Medical Association, for a broader context. Not only does reading these journals enhance my propositional knowledge, that is the facts, the exercise enhances my perspectival knowledge, since I can now see different facets of the subject from different points of view. Some journals are more clinically oriented, like how to assess symptoms at the bedside, while others focus on cutting-edge basic science research, like what mouse models may teach us about physiological principles. As a result, my understanding deepens and becomes more balanced. Step 3. Read smarter, not harder. Maximize your reading time with these journals by focusing on the good stuff. First, start with reviews and state-of-the-art commentaries for the big picture insights. Again, keep in mind that this is someone else's opinion of the facts, not the facts themselves. Second, read the editorials to see what experts are debating in their own circles. Third, dive into specific articles that grab your attention. Throughout, keep it all simple and focused, and you'll probably find that 1 to 2 hours per month is all you need. A bonus feature to keep in mind is that the time spent is never wasted, since many journals offer continuing medical education, that is CME, credits for your effort. Many also now offer podcasts and videos to share this content in more accessible forms. Check social media or the journal website for these options. Remember that coming up with a routine for continual learning enhances your procedural knowledge of how to be an effective physician today. This is one way the health architects learn how to be smart about being smart. Step 4. Stay curious and cultivate a scientific attitude and mindset. Keeping up with the journals and other materials isn't about memorizing every detail or checking a box. It's about becoming a health architect, who is the kind of physician who does several things. It's the kind of physician who questions everything. Health architects stay curious and challenge the status quo. They keep aware of corrections, biases, and of course, retractions. It's the kind of physician who follows the trends. Health architects pay attention to patterns across multiple sources. It's the kind of physician who stays board certified. Yes, being board certified costs money and time, but it demonstrates a commitment to a basic level of performance. It's the kind of physician who knows where to go to answer questions that come up in the course of practice when adopting the scientific attitude. Finally, it's the kind of physician who listens to their gut, to what excites them, and using that as a guide for deeper exploration. The way you approach medical information will shape your career and how you feel about the care you provide. Medical school and training provide a solid base. It's when the training wheels are taken off that we start to wobble. But it's not just about keeping up. It's about staying ahead of the game and building a system that works for you for today and the future. Health architects know that being intentional about gaining, maintaining, and broadening all types of knowledge, propositional, procedural, perspectival, and participatory, is important for a sense of control and agency. When learning new evidentiary facts, we can actually approach tasks more efficiently and strategically. We can lean into some areas to get into the details more, but we can also pull back our concentration in other areas that are less important and maybe delegate them to others to lighten our load. This virtuous circle affords more time and energy to fill necessary gaps in knowledge and skills that in turn build our confidence and nourishes a sense of connection with others. Both of these contribute to making clinical work feeling more fulfilling and rewarding. Whether you're a seasoned physician or just starting out, remember this: the best doctors aren't just mindless data banks playing memory games. They are health architects who strategically acquire, interpret, and integrate information meaningfully into their way of being as physicians. Take-home point: staying current in medicine isn't about drowning in information. It's about learning strategically. By choosing reliable go-to resources, following key journals, and reading smarter, health architects stay informed without burning out. The best doctors don't just consume knowledge. They build a system that keeps them engaged, adaptable, and in control of their learning, turning the chaos of medical advances into clarity and confidence in the delivery of patient care. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this episode. In upcoming episodes, I'll be discussing some of the pearls and pitfalls of ChatGPT and AI models. And I'll interview a fellow physician on some of the topics we've discussed to this point, including the role of rational argument and evidence when emotions and alternative thinking seem to be increasingly driving some folks' medical decision-making. See you then.